Hey, it's me, Rick. I was just sitting around playing my ukulele. I do that on occasion, about every night for a little bit. I try to, and I was telling Cheryl about when I sold my horse in Costa Rica. I bought this horse, and they told me that the horse's name was Chola, and I guess in Spanish that that's sort of like a little dark, let's say whore. I didn't know that, so I was like, "Oh, that's a nice name for a horse. I like that, Chola." Because I didn't know. And when I told the people after I bought it, the people who spoke Spanish, the farm we were taking care of, she goes, "Oh, that's a beautiful horse." The lady told me in Spanish, and she asked me, "What's the horse's name?" So I said, "Oh, the horse's name is Chola," and the lady almost fell over because I didn't know what it meant. She goes, "You know what that means?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "It means a little dark whore. You're a little dark sweet whore." Anyways, that's what the Costa Rican guy told me. Anyways, so I kept it. I kept Chola for about a year, and it was a cool horse. I'll put a picture of her. Cheryl took some pictures of her, and she ate a lot of green bananas. She didn't. I couldn't make her eat an apple or a carrot. Anyways, and that's what she lived on. And I think I bought her for $400, and I had it for a year. And then I wanted to sell it because I was going to go back. I was moving back to Hawaii, and so one of the Costa Rican guys told me, the Chicos, "Oh, you take it to the auction." So I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. You could sell your horse to someone that would want it. You know, they don't eat horses in Costa Rica. It's one of the few things they don't eat." And so I arranged for transport of the horse to the auction, and I went with it. And first, I didn't know because my Spanish isn't that great. We went to the police station. I'm like, "Oh my God, we're going to the police station." And the guy says, "No, you have to come in here." And I was like, "Dude, I just want to sell my horse." you know. And he took me to the police station, and he made me fill out this paperwork and wanted to see my passport, and he put a stamp on it that it was actually we were selling, actually what we said we were selling. And I think it said it was the color of the horse and what size it was. I mean, the cop didn't even look at it. I gave him $5. He put a stamp on this piece of paper, and then we took the horse to the auction. And when I got to the auction, they told me, "Oh, how much do you want for your horse?" And I'm like, "Well, as much as I could get. It's an auction. Doesn't it start low and then go high?" They're like, "Oh, well, yeah, sort of. That's how it works. But how much do you want?" And I said, "Well, I would take, $400 what I paid for it." And so they told me, "Oh, good. Come back at 1 o'clock and you can watch your horse being auctioned." So I was like, "Oh, cool." So, it must have been like 10 o'clock or something. I'm like, "I'm going to have lunch." So I walked downtown. It wasn't far. It's nice, Costa Rica. It was in Wapiles. Yeah. And so I went and had lunch. I came back. They already sold my horse. So I was like, "Darn, I wanted to see it." So I was like, "Oh, well, I'll just sit here and watch them auction a couple other horses in Spanish. It would be sort of cool." And no, I didn't know exactly what they're saying, and they're talking really fast. So I sat down, and the guy started to make this huge, massive announcement about that today, that we're so honored that this honored guest would be here at this auction all the way from the United States, and he's a big executive and he's a big doctor and all like this. I start looking around. Who are they talking about? I don't see any, big executives or big doctors around here. Yeah, I'm Dr. Rick, and I told them all I'm a doctor, and whatever. So, and so they started this huge announcement, like the whole place was full, the auction house, in Spanish. And then at the end, they said, "Please stand up, Dr. Rick Rodriguez." I bet my face turned like 5 shades of red. I had no idea that I was the honored guest that day because I sold my $400 horse or whatever. Then I never got to see the auction, which, it's Latin America, and things work a little bit different there, obviously. And so I'm like, "Well, where's my horse? They're like, well, we sold it. And well, how much did you get for it? They're like, well, what you asked us for? You know, we got $400. We told them it was a special horse, you know, from a doctor, you know, from the United States and all like that. I'm like, well, okay, can I have the money? They're like, no, you have to have a check. And they wouldn't cash my check. So it's a good thing that I was the honored guest that day, because I had to go back, get the owner of the auction house, and make the guy give me the money, because they weren't going to give me the money from the bank because I didn't have an account. You have to have an account in Costa Rica. By the way, never get an account in Costa Rica, because they will never be able to tell you the balance. I'm serious. Alright, that was the story. And I told you the horse story because I didn't want to write it down. Aloha. Talk to you later.